What's going on, guys? It's Rob here with Combat Self-Defense, and today I have my Muay Thai coach, Alex Anoushian, with me.
What's up, guys?
He's going to show us he's going to show us one thing, that being the lead leg switch kick.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than the kick that I normally do with my lead leg. There's some different mechanics, but if there's someone to teach me, it's going to be Alex, who's forgotten more about fighting than I'll ever know. So.
Alright guys, so today I wanted to go over how to throw the switch kick and how to make it nice and smooth, how to set it up to where you can throw it quickly and maintain your balance and get back on your stance and be able to keep doing whatever you got to do. Alright, so first thing we'll set up and we'll take a regular orthodox stance, right? And we want to be about our jab distance away, right? When I throw the switch for my kick, I don't need to travel too far forward. And I can do this from about my jab range. So from about this range, I switch, I can throw the kick, and get back to my guard. The switch allows you to load power into that side. So almost like throwing a rear leg kick where you have a power kick coming off the rear leg. You can switch and load the power. On the switch, now my hip is back. Even though I'm not switching my shoulders, my hip is back, and I can have a little bit more power to drive through. And the switch happens, one thing you want to focus on is not making a big jump with your feet, right? You want to be efficient and quick with your movements. You're just making a small switch, and it's like a simultaneous move. It's not both feet at the same time. Left leg, then right leg drives through. The left leg, then the right leg. So if you see it in slow motion, it's the left leg, the right leg, the kick. Right? So we kick. The swing in hand, you have a few options. You can keep the swing up high to be a little bit more defensive if you're against a heavy puncher. Or let's say you already threw something at him to knock him back, and you can finish the kick and drive the arm down, drive your hip through with a little bit more power. Okay? So again, we're about our jab distance. I'm going to switch. Hand elevates slightly on the switch. I'm on the balls of my feet. My opposite hand circles, comes back to my head. I drive the kick, and I'm targeting the floating ribs or the liver on that side.
So here.
Right back. Yeah, do it again. Boom. Okay, so a little bit more shin on that side.
More shin?
Yeah. Boom. Okay, and don't have to rotate as much, but you keep doing this. Do it again. Boom. Right about there. So we're going to straighten that leg out. Remember the toes. Right about there. And this is a good way to practice if you have a partner at home. You throw the kick and hold your partner's leg. And make sure they have their balance and they're not wobbling around. You don't want to be leaning back too much this way with your head back there.
Yeah,
right?
that sucks.
You want to stand with good posture. Okay. So again, Rob throws the kick. I'm going to hold his leg. Right. And we want to stick that position on the ball of the foot and back. Right, one more time, Rob. Oh, yeah, nice position right there.
So, Thai style kicks have kind of like a reputation of being more like baseball bats talk about. People talk about like a wider swing in comparison to the karate kick. Mm-hmm. But what you're saying is like it's a very narrow window.
Yeah, I mean, you can even in Muay Thai, they probably have different styles of how people kick, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I like about throwing the kicks this way, where your knee's coming up first, it kind of looks like you're throwing a knee strike, but at further distance, my knee comes up and I can sneak the kick in a lot easier, right? So if that's with my right leg, my knee's coming through the center line. If that's with my left leg, my knee's coming through the center line, and I'm driving through my target. And one way you can practice, it doesn't have to be the only way, but one way you can practice when you're shadowboxing or kicking air, to practice the follow through of the kick, after you kick, set the foot down, you can always reset, right? So I throw the kick, and I'm practicing that follow through, because if I hit the target, of course I'm going to rebound off of that. But this will probably make it more like a snap. If you're trying to practice the follow through, just kick through the target and set the foot down and reset back to your guard.
And if you miss, you can
side
kick. Okay, so what I want to do is hold for your kick.
Okay.
I want to see what that feels like.
Okay.
So Don't kill me. I gotta make a lot more videos.
Okay. So again, lining yourself up, like when you're working with a partner, lining yourself up is important because I don't want to be like off way out here or way over here, right? Rob's gonna square up with me like we're fighting, get in your fight stance, right? So again, the distance is right about here. He presents the target to me, and basically it's gonna mimic his body, right? If you have the pads like this, you're encouraging your partner to kick up, which is not what we want. We want to dig through the body. So we want to try to make the pads mimic the body as much as we can, right? And typically on the Thai pads, they don't need to be stuck together, right? I like to say a little pizza slice right there, a little triangle right there. The top corners touch, the bottoms don't. Your elbows are comfortable by your sides. Okay, so I got right about outside my jab range, my punching range. I get my switch, I drive the kick, I'm back to position. After the kick lands, I don't want to let this leg go stiff and get stuck on the ground, so I want to rebound. Think of it as 4 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm back to position, back to my guard, back to my foot. Okay.
Oh, that's stressful.
I got more.
You know how when you grow up, you think you're stronger than your dad, and you walk up, you're like, "Don't worry, Dad, I'll carry this for you," and he's like, "Sweet," and just kind of drags it. That's what it's like holding for your coach. The kicks are just like way better than yours ever can be. I like holding pads. It's the closest I think you can get to high intensity sparring without actually having to spar somebody. You know, I get to focus a lot more on my technique when I'm working with pads rather than kind of holding back when you're sparring with someone.
Right, you could, on the pads, you could definitely hit as hard as you want, or as hard as you feel comfortable going. You can go full blast on them, but you want to make sure that you know how to target the kick. And you know, if you miss the pads, you're throwing a full power kick, and you hit your partner in the head or below. You know, it's not good. So you want to start off easy, and then little by little add power to the kick, you know, or whatever technique you're doing.
My turn?
Yeah.
All right.
Drive through the base foot. When you switch, when you drop, drive through that right leg. Keep your posture tall. Okay? So you're driving, but then you're picking up your chin, your head in this position.
Okay. Nice. So obviously, there were some things I could improve during it, which I felt like I fixed. Big picture, are there things you see I could work on?
Like I was mentioning, so when you initiate the switch, one thing, don't land on the heel, right? You want to land on the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, and it's a short switch, it's a small switch, right? Your feet don't necessarily have to go like front to back. They can even go a little horizontal, just depending on where you're at with the opponent and everything. So not so much of a front and back movement all the time. You can go a little horizontal. Yeah.
Okay.
Staying on the balls of your feet. And as soon as you initiate the switch, you're not slowing down. You're not stopping momentum. You want to drop and drive right away without picking up the chin.
Right.
The position you land in, you want to be sitting on your base, right? Sitting on top of your right hip, top of your right foot. So that way when the kick is done, you can retract and keep your guard, right? If your head's way outside and your position is off, you're gonna throw the balance off.
Driving forward to the balls of the feet, don't raise the head, drive the shoulder and spring.
So you're raising from like the crown of your head.
Okay.
Right? This stays the same. So when I throw the kick, my head position stays the same.
Okay. Alright, let me do a few more of those and see,
Alright,
let's see if I can fix them.
Forward, try that a little bit horizontal. Hey, see that?
Sir.
Let's see if we can kick harder. Yeah. Okay, take your time, take a few seconds in between, and then hands up. Take a few seconds in between, and then drive it hard. Yeah, and then recover. A little bit higher. Down, hands up. Give me 2 of them. One. Hard one. Couple more. Again. Again. Big one, again.
Alright guys, there was the secret to Coach Alex's switch kick. I'm sorry you taught that to me, now I can use it against you all the time. Coach, I want to thank you a lot for coming to help me with this video.
Thank you.
I definitely learned a lot. I've been training with you for what, 3 or 4 years now? Every time I obviously learned a lot in 3 or 4 years, but obviously with focused attention like this on just the one small thing, I could see a big improvement from when we started the video to now. That's something I think a lot of people undervalue, the ability to focus on one specific thing, and finding yourself a good coach who's good at doing that is always helpful. So, that being said, where can people find you? How do they train with you?
Muay Thai ATX.com. Fill out the form, and I'll be in touch.
Make sure you live in Austin or move here to come train with us. All that being said, if you like the channel, if you feel like you learned something, and if you're looking for a channel that combines the practicality of combat sports with the reality of self-defense and the fun of traditional martial arts, then please be sure to subscribe, tap the notification bell, like, share, and leave a comment. And if you want to support the channel, and by extension Coach Alex, head on over to combatsd.square.site, pick up a t-shirt, crop top, tank top, coffee mug, anything else we have on the site. That's the best way to help us out. This has been Rob from Combat Self-Defense, and Coach Alex from Muay Thai ATX. Thank you guys for all the hard work, and I'll see you next time.
Keep training.